Before coming to Christ, I attended church as a child with my mother. We'd go on Sundays and kind of just thought it was something that you had to do. You know, it was more ceremonial in nature. There was no depth to what I was hearing. There was no meaning and connection to what I was doing. I would stand, I would kneel, and I didn't necessarily think. I thought that's just what you had to do to be a good person. I made a decision around 15 to stop going to church, and I had no relationship with the Lord. There was no walk. Really through high school, college, 20s, even really into my early 30s. Hadn't set foot in a church, had no relationship, didn't pick up my Bible. None of that was a priority in my life. I saw myself as an independent type person, self-reliant, hardworking, and really thought that I had my life figured out. My salvation story isn't one of an instant light bulb. It's really one of a prolonged season of darkness and sorrow and isolation. Went through a very difficult divorce a couple of years ago and found myself 500 miles from my support system, my parents and my friends and my coworkers. My marriage had failed. I didn't have really any money at the time to rely on, and I was facing court dates, custody battle, and I found myself just broken. All of the earthly things that I had built up throughout the course of my life had really just kind of, in an instant, crashed down around me. The thing that I think broke me the most was hearing the attorneys tell me that, you know, we'll get you every other weekend with your son. It's interesting because God doesn't need much to work, right? The one connection that I had to the area was the pre-K, where my son was enrolled in school. And I just thought, maybe if I go sit in this church in the back quietly and listen, that something good will come of it, right? It was in going to that church, I don't remember dates or an exact time, but I heard a message of hope preached out of Isaiah. And it was of God doing a new thing, and to forget the former things, but to perceive the new thing that's happening in life, and that he's gonna make a way in the wilderness. And I can't really explain it, but I felt seen by God, and I felt his message of hope on my heart that really inspired me. I remember sitting in this church around total strangers and holding back the tears with, you know, like snot dripping down my face. And it inspired a hunger within me to get to know the Lord more and to listen to sermons and get more involved in the church. I'd been going to church for a little while and talking to my family, working through the divorce, had this new kind of kindled hunger about me. And one day, I get a knock at the door of my apartment, and I get this unexpected delivery. I'm like, I didn't order anything. I'm not really sure what this is all about. So I open the package, and it's a Holy Bible. And I just remember holding it and crying because it felt like such a timely and divinely inspired gift. And I looked at who it was from. It was from my grandmother, you know, 5 states away. And I didn't ask for it. I didn't tell her I wanted it. She just sent it to me. And this was the first Bible that I actually took the time to read through on my own. And in doing that and listening to sermons and going to church, I really got to understand who God really is. You can build your house on sinking sand, and that's what my life was before Jesus. It was, my faith was in relationships, it was in the things of this world. And within an instant, one storm came through and knocked all that down. Since coming into relationship with Jesus and falling in love with his word, I know that my life is now built on solid rock, and no storm can knock it down. If I don't have anything else in this life, but all I have is Jesus, then that's enough. I'm Joe Caruso, and I'm a follower of Christ.